A very good afternoon to you and welcome to today's edition of Joy Business Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, they say good energy, Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and runs all through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7. My name, as always, is Yaw Anim Barnafo, and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Joy Business Masterclass. Last week sort of ended a 4-week conversation here on the show under the umbrella topic of unlocking your wealth. It was indeed a very insightful 4 weeks of conversation. We spent time talking to someone who's a financial analyst and a sales strategist. Cassandra was here on the show, and if you missed any of those conversations, I sincerely encourage you to go to our Facebook page or our YouTube page or our X page by all means to watch those episodes and pick some tidbits from there. We talked about connecting and how people are designed to connect, and that is the beginning of the conversation of unlocking your world. Before you go into the text of the formula and demand and supply and packaging and branding, how do you connect to the person next to you? Oftentimes we say that the answer to your prayer is in the person who's standing right next to you. A very good afternoon to you, Cassandra, if you're listening, and thank you for coming through for those 4 weeks and sharing those thoughts with us. There was something she shared in the week before last, which sort of stayed with me, and I just wanted to sort of put it out here today in my introduction. These were the silent questions that people ask when they walk into your place of business. And if you're a business person, you're listening today, you're a corporate person, you're an employer, you're a general manager, you're an employee, you're going to own your own business one day. Here are the questions that are on the minds of your customers when they walk into your shop, and they don't ask, they just think it. And the questions they ask silently are, number one, do you see me? Do you see me? It's not physically, do I see you, but are you paying attention to me? Do I have your attention? Do I have your mind right now? Second question is, do I matter to you? And that's why sometimes customers will fight when they're in a queue and say, I came first, but you're attending to that other person. You're not attending to me, because they feel that they don't matter. And the third thing is that, will you respond to me quickly, and will you address my concerns? I thought that those were very profound, and I just wanted to sort of share them. Today we're in a new month, and we move to a new area of conversation, and that's in the area of the mindset revolution. You'll notice that here on Masterclass in the last couple of months, we're spending quite a bit of time on the soft areas of corporate conversations, because once you get that foundation right, then the text becomes functional. It's designed, and it will work by rote. But if the thing that doesn't work by rote is a variable, which is your mind, which is how you connect to people, which is how you understand the softer things which lead to the hard things. And so today, and hopefully in the next 4 weeks, we'll be having a conversation on the mindset revolution. Initially, when I wrote my introduction, I actually wrote his profile. And when I walked to the studio, just off, I was having a conversation with him, and I said, I didn't put your profile in my introduction because I feel that when your name is Googled under mindset revolution in Ghana today, in the last 5 years, 5 years has it been? Yes?
More than that.
5 years. Well, more than that, he says. Your name comes up. So my guest for this afternoon is no other than the CEO and founder of Training Consultancy, Train to Inspire, and in recent times also an author of many books, including The Purposeful Mindset, Oscar Bimpong. Oscar.
Yeah.
You're welcome to the conversation. As for your profile, if I say I want to read it, we will not end.
No.
It's very impressive. You've done things for yourself, and I think that your story is one of those stories that people can identify to say, you decided to do something for yourself. It was tough, you went through it, and you did it.
Yes.
So it's not the story that says there was cake in the fridge.
No.
You open the fridge. You didn't get icing on the cake.
No.
Everything you have, you built.
No.
And you're going to be talking us through the mindset revolution in today's conversation. But just before you start, we are going to get interactive at some point. Oscar has also obliged us a couple of slides, many slides actually. We'll try and go through as many of them as possible today. So for those of us who like to make notes, please by all means do write and make some notes for yourself as well. We're also streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on X. So by all means do go there and watch us when we get interactive. Let's be a part of that conversation so that together we can build and make our nation great and strong. Oscar, here are just a few thoughts. I'll just share two of them. I was thinking, this whole thing on mindset revolution, you hear it a lot. Have a positive mind, positive mindset. If you can see it, then you can do it. If you can believe it, then you can become it. I had a conversation with you off air about how I'm able to encourage people, but I also suffer the same thing when you have to take the step.
Yes.
It becomes like a big ocean with a big divide.
Yeah.
The blue ocean is here, the brown ocean is here. You can't seem to cross. That's a lot of people who feel like that. But that's where the mind comes in.
Yes.
And so I went online to find out what other people had to say. There are a few people who are authors, business consultants, and all that. And here's what Bree Runway is an American consultant in business analyst. He says that feel the fear and do it anyway. That's the mentality. Even if you are scared, just do it.
Just do it.
This is Bree Runway. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes.
That's the mentality.
Yes.
Even if you're scared, just do it. That's Bree. This is what Russell Wilkin also had to say. I truly believe in positive synergy. That your positive mindset gives you a more hopeful outlook and belief that you can do something great. That you can do something great means that you will do something great.
Yes.
So again, he talks about believing it. Then this last one is by Zig Ziglar, the famous Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
He says that positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. My mischief has started. This whole thing about motivation and inspiration, I saw a video once. It's a good thing, but the video was of a young puppy who was barking at a lion in a zoo. And they said, you have been talking to too many motivational speakers. Sometimes it makes us believe we can do things that we otherwise would not be able to physically achieve. Starting from today, talk to us about the power of the mind. Today, you're talking to us about the mindset versus skill set in an organization.
Yes.
Please talk to us.
Good introduction as usual. I think sometimes we have to shift and come and be the guest.
I like where I'm sitting.
All right. People think mindset is motivation, but I think it goes beyond motivation. There is one philosophy that I've learned over the years, and that is, if it was easy, everybody would have done it. So what separates the chaff from the wheat is the power of the mind that you carry. You see, I don't think we use the amount of our mind that you use or the cells that we use, I think is so negligible.
It is.
Right? There is one thing I always talk about, and it's a discussion in our training programs, and that is what are you thinking about all the time? Yeah, people are thinking, making innovations, bringing out technology that is making the world an easier place. And today, if you look at airplanes, all these Boeings, how big they are and how fast they are, look at how AI is changing the narrative. Robotics, machine learning is changing our world. I was at Heathrow and I saw a machine that was really mopping the floor with nobody. It's just moving. When you cross it, it stops. When you move, it moves.
Now they started mopping the floor too.
They started mopping the floor. And now they are robotics that turns the beggar, right? Now the question is, why are people doing powerful things, but you think you cannot do anything? It's the power of the mind. If you task the mind, there are two things that happens, right? When you see a problem and you walk away, your mind goes to sleep. If you continue to walk away, your mind goes to coma.
Say that again. Say it slowly.
A lot of people, when they see a problem or they face a challenge, majority walks away. Why? Because in their minds, there is no way this problem can be solved. And because of that, they walk away. Now, the moment you walk away, your mind goes to sleep. The more you see the problem and it doesn't make any attempt to solve the problem, your mind goes to coma.
Second degree sleep.
Second is a higher level of sleep. Now, when you see the problem and you task your mind starts finding solution to the problem. The solution might not be today, the next hour, the next 2 days, or the next 3 days, or the next month. But as you continue to task the mind starts working to find solutions. And if you continue and you are persistent and you are finding a way out, one day you find a solution. There is no invention that was done overnight. Thomas Edison had over 1,000 failures, and now today we are enjoying electricity. Somebody asked, why are you wasting your time on something that is not working? He says, I've had 1,000 experiences. That is his definition of failure. So every failure is an experience. Me and you, are we ready to do that? If, for example, in sales, as somebody who is in sales, you go out there and 5 people say no, you give up. Somebody had 1,000 failures and he continued. That is the power of the mind. The power of the mind is that you move from one failure to another failure until another failure until you win.
And at some point, you will win.
At some point, you will win. At some point, you will win. I don't know when, but I know that at a point. When I started this, I was just doing normal motivation. Today, I don't do motivation. I do training for organizations based on mindset with KPIs. I have transitioned, but it has taken a long journey, dedication, hard work, tenacity, experiencing notes that sometimes when I come in, I'm like, is it my village people that are following me? But the next day, we keep fighting. The next day, we keep knocking. Sometimes I go to some office and they are like, we told you last week that you shouldn't be here. I will come again. Some jobs takes me 3 years for me to get it. 4 years. It's about being consistent to get that sale. So, if we can task the mind, find a vision, believe in the vision, work towards it with consistency. We are humans. Sometimes you'll be down. Sometimes you'll be like, why am I wasting my time? But you need to gather yourself and go the next day.
Oscar, you know what I want you to do first? Make a mental note of it. Not today, but at some point, I'd like you to talk to us about how to handle failure.
I think
that's where most people stop.
Yes.
Not today. Let's continue what we are doing. But at some point, make a mental note of it.
All right. So, today we're going to talk about skill set versus mindset. The two powerful forces needed in business success. And today is week 1. We're going to talk about, I'm just going to give a brief introduction and background to skill set and mindset development in an organization. So let's go to slide 5.
Okay.
So for a business to be successful, it depends on the skill set and the mental fortitude of the people you employ. When you employ the person, you are looking for certain skills and experiences they have. And that is the norm. Your CV is designed for your experiences and the skills that you have acquired over the years. Now, on the mentality bit, that one there is a bit of lacking. And on the 4th week, we are going to talk about the disparity between, or the imbalance between skill set and mindset in what? In building a business, in building a business.
I'm smiling because I remember I sat on the panel once and the guy was so confident. I mean, he wasn't the most favored. He was so confident. And we asked the question about function.
Yes.
You see, you talk about CV.
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
He said, I don't bring something to the table. I bring the table.
I
I just wanted to put that in that.
I like that.
That's where his mind was. He says,
Yes.
I bring the table.
Yes.
I'm not bringing something
That
to
is
the
a
table.
different, another level,
Yes.
another dimension of mindset.
It's suffice it to say he got the job.
Yes.
But yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yes. So, skill set is very important. Mindset is very important. Now, every business thrives on human capital. Your investment in technology, infrastructure, and resources needed to run the business will not amount to anything if there are no quality human capital to run it.
True.
So some people invest so much in technology, infrastructure, they acquire all the resources needed to build the business. But if you don't get quality human capital to back those resources, you still don't have a business.
True.
Imagine we sitting here and we have got the mics, very powerful mics, and there is no voice behind it.
And also even because, I'm sure somebody's now thinking, but we just talked about robots doing, what the robots are doing is called machine learning. We are the ones teaching them. The capacity of a human to be creative in their thinking is far beyond anything. And we're not teaching that to machines, but it still is the question that you need human capital.
Of course.
Yes.
But who is going to switch on the robot?
Exactly.
If the robot needs electricity or it needs to be charged, somebody needs to do that.
Yeah.
So the human presence is not going to go away.
Indeed.
But they can use it to reduce the human presence.
Indeed.
Right? So there is still work to be done. So that is where, if now you are a cleaner and now they have done a small machine that cleans the floor, you need to go and learn how to operate that machine. It means I need to transition from a mop to really managing that machine to be efficient. All right. Now, let's move to slide 7. So, doing business in this era is no longer business as usual. And not enough for employees to just do their jobs. They must also think critically, adapt to change, and align personal goals with organizational objectives. Critical thinking. You don't just think, but you think critically.
Critically, yeah.
That is attention to detail. But there is a saying that the most difficult thing to do is to think.
I've heard it. I've heard it.
And let me give you a very funny story. One of my friends, the dad, was a medical doctor. And he said that he, of over 30 years in the consulting room, he has concluded that when Ghanaians think, then they get headache. and I'm like, so Dad, how did you come to that conclusion? He says everybody that comes to the consulting room and they say they've got headache, and you ask him, oh, what's wrong with you? So I've got headache. Oh, so how did you get the headache? You understand?
I get it.
When we think we get headache, so he has concluded that when a Ghanaian thinks he gets headache, so we don't really think deeper and critically about
things.
Don't
maximize the potential.
Yes,
of
it makes sense
process.
though. Yes, we don't really maximize our potential. And we are living in an era where change is rampant. Change, like you turn around and there is change.
Change is the only thing that doesn't change.
That's really powerful. I think if you are listening to us, you have to write that one down. Change is the only thing that doesn't change. Yeah. So change is so quick, and today's consumer, they get bored so quickly. That is why almost every 3 months or 6 months there is iPhone. Is it now 31 or we are in the 18s?
Me, I'm stuck on 12.
Oh,
I didn't move from there, so I don't know.
Have it. So your staff you employ, they must be able to adapt to change. And also, are they able to integrate their personal goals into the vision of the company? Because if they understand the vision, then they can really integrate their personal goals to help the organization to grow. So, modern organizations are now prioritizing an integrated approach, building skills while also transforming mindset of their employees. And even I'm so surprised that apart from Unilever, Microsoft, Google, and all these kind of companies that are really integrating mindset shift as part of their training programs. Today, somebody called me this morning. I think I don't know if I have to advertise the company, but
I'll send you a bill.
I send me a bill, isn't it?
Max is listening.
And the person was like, "Oh, we are doing transformation of our company." And they listened to one of my sessions and they are like, we want you to come and do
something for us.
The mindset. They want to start the transformation with a mindset change. And I think, of course, yes. And that is what I always say. I like the reset Ghana that we want to do. The first call of the reset should be a mindset transformation. Have you seen the Bus Stop Boys? What they are doing?
I have.
They are doing incredible well.
Brilliant stuff.
Brilliantly. Yeah. And I think I'm planning to go and give them copies of my Mindset Revolution book. Why? Do you know why? Because I think that they should rather do it's not a campaign. They should do, before they go and clean that gutter, they should go to the shops or the community and do some level of education.
Engagement. I'll say this to their credit though, and if anyone is listening and you know the Bastard Boys, when we get interactive, please get them to call in. I've seen them do videos not just of the work they're doing, but of the fact that we are Ghanaians and we must think like Ghanaians.
Yes.
There was a video on the overhead at, I think, Pokwasi also, and people were abusing, they were denigrating it and taking the iron rod out. And this guy did like a 45-second video and says, why do we do this to ourselves? So they're doing it, but like you're saying, they need help.
They need
to make it a central part of what they do. So when they work, they also educate. And then it becomes something that can.
Even today, I saw a video where they've cleaned the gutter and some contractor has gone and put some sand or something back. So mindset transformation in organization, because the skill set, that one has been the priority of most organizations for many years. And the mindset bit, there is a bit of imbalance. And for any organization to be very successful, skill set must match the mindset of the person that we employed.
It is very true. Otherwise, you're pouring new wine into old wineskin.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
It's true.
Right? So for an organization to experience high performance, skill set and mindset development are not optional, but a strategic tool for higher productivity, leading to organizational growth.
The mind must be in the right place. If you keep thinking, it's for government, so you're going to use it and there's no check. And this mindset thing, Oscar, it's not just one person, it's all of us. It's the man in the mirror.
Of course.
I've always asked this question. People will say, for security, how many of us stop at a red light when there are no cars? And let's say it's a little dark, early in the morning or it's late. You say, when I stop, they will attack me. Fine. I mean, that's the exception. But otherwise, my philosophy lecturer will say, God bless his soul. He said, human beings will never do good for the sake of doing good. We do good because we fear sanction.
Yes.
That's what my philosophy lecturer said. So it has to start from there. We have to start thinking in the right way. But I think that there has to be a strong advocacy, which is what you started. And a direction. I think people will follow.
Yes. And the point is that we don't need everybody to change their mindset. We need some pillars that is going to carry everybody along, right? I always give this example. On a Friday, if you go to London or outside London, by 2 a.m., almost everybody is drunk. Some are in gutters. Some are vomiting here. The lady who was wearing a nice high heel now is walking barefooted. And some are really hurt themselves. So there's an ambulance on a stretch of road taking people to A&E. Do you think the people who are really ruling the country, they are in gutters? No. But they have put structures in place that ships everybody alive. And that is what we need as a country and as corporate Ghana and corporate Africa. We need structures that and get people who are aligned in terms of mindset and good skill set and carry the country, the organization along.
Let me ask this question, not to you, to our listeners. When we get interactive, please send the response to our WhatsApp line. I'm sure you know the line already, 055-1111-997. Do we think that the mindset change we're talking about, let's use Ghana, for example, can only be achieved through policy, through enforcement, or through our own initiatives as a people? Do we think that the mindset change that we require in Ghana can be achieved only through government policy, through enforcement, or through our own innovation? I'd like to see what you think about the question I've asked. Just put your answers on the WhatsApp. When we get interactive, we'll look at it.
I really wanted to even
answer
it briefly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because policy is just a written document, right? it will be sitting there, maybe gathering dust, right?
Yeah.
Enforcement is the key, right? In London, if they write 30 miles per hour and you go 32, 33, 3 days time you got a letter at home.
If them born you well.
Yes. Right? So if and this letter, you don't have anybody to call to.
Yeah.
And they are saying if you don't pay it within this time, it doubles.
And it's a point on your license. The whole system is connected.
So sometimes you see a 30 mile per hour zone, there is no traffic, but the person is not going speed. Why?
You won't try it.
You won't try it, right? So enforcement is key. Our own initiative. Yeah, do you think the person who is taking bribe on the street one day will wake up and say, I don't want to take bribe anymore?
They need motivation.
They need enforcement.
Yeah.
So your first point, policy, your last point, our own initiative, we can never maximize our potential with that. We need enforcement. So landing, there is a camera here, it gets you. You go another 2 kilometers, another camera. So by the time you come, if there are 10 cameras that caught you, how much is that? Multiply it by 65. That is 650 pounds. Nobody will tell you to be slow on the road the next time.
In fact, nobody will even chase you. And I've had that experience personally. Nobody will chase you.
No.
In the back roads of the Dockland somewhere, we ran a red light because we didn't see it. Yes. All you saw was a flash.
That's it.
By the time you get home, there's an £80 fine waiting for you.
That's it.
If you don't pay in 1 week, there's a point on your license. Wherever you go, it will show up.
That's it.
So and so for me, that's the point I made about policy, because once there's a policy direction on it, it is passed into law. It gives impetus to the enforcement agencies to enforce.
Fine, because there is the policy that is going to be enforced.
Exactly.
So if the policy is not being enforced, then we will still stay at one place. Indeed. Now let me move on, because we've got some more slides here.
Yeah.
Now every person you employ enters the door of your business with a level of skill set and a particular mindset. A good skill set coupled with a strong mindset is a good recipe for success.
Of course, that's true.
Because the person's CV will get a level of skill set, and that is why you say, oh, this guy has got good experience. Let's pick him. But then the person comes with a particular mindset. One of the things organizations are not able to do is to be able to really have certain frameworks that brings out the mindset of the person they are interviewing. Because it's very difficult to identify the mindset of the person. But there are certain frameworks that you can use that can really bring the best out of the person in terms of mindset. For example, have you failed before? And what did you do? Such question will cause you to bring the mindset of the person, right? But then, the mindset of the person is coming from different backgrounds. He's coming from a different tribe, family orientation, the community they live in. All this shapes the mindset of the person, their belief system. Do we intentionally try to align this mindset to the vision of the company? I'm talking about being intentional. Because when you look at the skill set bit, we will do induction for the person. The person will probably buddy another person to learn the skill or learn on a job. And the person is going to be taken through certain training. Do we really do that for that mindset? Let me give you a typical example. I did a session for a school at East Legon. And I did a session for another school at Dewenya. I asked the school at Dewenya what university they want to go, right? They were mentioning University of Ghana, KNUST, Takrady Technical University, and all those kind of schools. Now, East Legon, they were talking about Ivy League schools, right? I'm like, so how did you get to know all these schools? Not knowing their sisters, their cousins are already there, right? Now, when you employ these two sets of people, They are all coming to your organization with different mindsets. And the different mindsets they are coming from, you have to know that there is a huge disparity between these two. One has got very good exposure, one doesn't. One believes in local content, the other is what? Is for the world. So you will see that there is a huge gap when it comes to mindset.
Yeah.
They can equally have almost the same skill set, but there is going to be difference when it comes to what? Mindset.
Indeed.
Now, this is where organizations sometimes they are not able to connect. And that is to intentionally work on the minds of their staff so that they get aligned with the organization.
I'm enjoying this conversation, Oscar, but I want our listeners to also be a part of it. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass. We take a quick message. When we come back, we get interactive.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. You can also send us your comments on 055 997. Oscar has obliged us a copy of his book, The Purposeful Mindset, and he says that it should go out to the first caller on the show. So I put out the disclaimer there. If you're the first caller, by all means, Oscar is giving you a copy of his book today on the show. Numbers to call 0302 216 541 or send us your comments on 055 997. Just to remind us also that today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, good energy, Goyle. Yenara Yedia. If you have any motor vehicle of any kind, here's some great news for you from Goyle. Good energy brings you Goyle Super XP, the ideal choice for most vehicles. It's flowing wah-wah at many Goyle stations in the country. Just go fuel up your vehicle and enjoy the smooth ride with all the benefits. Goyle Super XP is quality and gives you the correct choice when buying regular fuel. Goyle Super XP is fortified with a special additive that gives longevity to your engine and makes your engine perform to the max, using minimal fuel, and it is suitable for most vehicles. Goyle, they say good energy, Goyle. Yenara. Yeah, their phone lines are open. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. You can also send us your comments on 055 1997. Oscar, while we're waiting for the phone lines to ring, okay, and my messages are still coming through, but by all means, please go ahead and share a few more thoughts with us, and then I'll do some social media very shortly. Go ahead.
All right. So let's get to now what is skill set. This was just a background to the whole conversation. So skill set is a set of skills or a collection of abilities, expertise, or competencies that a person has acquired or developed. It refers to the specific capabilities or talent someone possesses in a particular area. So I'm giving an example of one of the persons in this country that has got a very good skill set, that we have all enjoyed him over the years in terms of football, is Abedi Pele. Maestro. Very good skill set. You just enjoy to watch him. He doesn't struggle to be his best on a pitch.
Effortless.
But you see, when he started, he wasn't like that. He has built these competencies over time.
Yeah.
And that is done through what? Consistency. Yeah. To really harness your skill set, if you are really watching us, the word that you have to write in capital letters is consistency.
Right.
The more you do it, the better you become. The more you continue to do it, that is where you build an expertise out of it. I did a video and I said if somebody passes their driving test for the first time, they will put pass at the back, isn't it? P, yeah? And the way they'll be holding the steering, it's like they don't want the steering to shake or to get out of their hands. But over time, they can drive without holding the steering wheel. Why? They get to the stage where they can drive without holding the steering wheel just because of the consistency of driving.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. And the more you do it, the better you become. And that is the only way to harness your skills. I always say that Ronaldo was not the best player when he was at Porto or when he was at Manchester United. But because of consistency of what? Practicing, he became the best. They interviewed Alex Ferguson and he said, is he proud of David Beckham in terms of his free kicks? Like, is he surprised? He said no. He said why? He said that guy kicks the ball more than anybody else in terms of practicing when it comes to free kicks. So he's never surprised. Why? The guy positioned himself that I'm going to be on the field, but I'm going to be an expert in what? Free kicks. So in the organization you work for, what role do you have? I always ask people this question. I met a finance guy and I asked him, do you think you can get to the stage where if they are looking for top finance gurus in this country, first 10, your name will appear? If you don't have that mindset, that means that you are not ready to get into the topmost or the pinnacle of your success. Yeah, this country, now if you mention mindset, my name should come first 5.
When you Google it, it comes up.
It comes up.
I've got a comment on social media. This one is Francis from Oyarifa. Francis says, good afternoon. The Ghanaian Adrin is not mere thinking, no. It is driven by troubles and poverty. Just by the way, great discussion. Francis from Oyarifa. Francis, thank you for those comments. Phone lines are still open. Like I said, Oscar is giving away one of his books, Purposeful Mindset, by Oscar Bimpong, for the first caller. Numbers to call 0302 216-541. You can also send us your comments on 055-1111-997. I've got some comments here. This one, you didn't add your name. It says, guys, I really enjoy this discussion. On a more serious note, I believe Ghanaians deserve the enforcement for mindset. On a more serious note, I believe Ghanaians deserve the enforcement for mindset. You didn't add your name, but thank you so much for sending your comments. The next one is from Kafui from Ashaiman. Kafui from Ashaiman, thank you for reaching out to us. He says, my Ghana people, for the way, through effective enforcement, note that the one doing the enforcing is also corrupt, taking money left and right, telling them, don't worry, I am in charge. No one will come worrying you. This is Kafui from Ashaiman. So Kafui, I suppose that the mindset conversation, it doesn't refer to somebody. Like I said, it refers to all of us. So then you can just say that, look at the man in the mirror, and that's all of us. This one is Dimeo, B&A Enterprise, Pantang, West Africa. It says, hello, Joy. I'm listening attentively, and I want to disagree with Yaw Barnafo's assertion about change. I hold the view that change itself is constantly changing. Nick Dimeo. Mick, thank you so much for your comments. We welcome them. This is a discussion, so it's free thinking. I'm happy that you've sent your comments through. I have my first caller on the show. Good afternoon. You welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Kolegona.
Emmanuel from Kolegona, thank you for reaching out. If you could just speak up a bit for me, Emmanuel, we're struggling to hear you.
Yeah, I've been following the discussion.
Brilliant.
And then everything comes from you. So with this discussion, I've removed fear from me, and then I think I can go on with some small business I want to start.
Right. Okay. But is this discussion helping you at all, Emmanuel, in terms of your thought process for your business? Is it helping you?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Thank you for reaching out to us. But you are my first caller today, so you've won for yourself a copy of The Purposeful Mindset from Oscar Bimpong.
Okay.
Stay on the line. Don't hang up. My production crew will speak to you and get the details from you. So when you show up at the front desk, you're able to pick it up. But thank you so much for calling. That was Emmanuel reaching out to us with his thoughts. The phone lines are still open. Numbers to call 0302 216-541 or comments. Send us your comments on 055-1111-997. Oscar, back to you.
All right. So we're going to look at examples of skill set, right? So communication skills. Yeah, well, I think you are cut for good communication skills.
Thank you.
I think you see, that is what my book Purposeful Mindset is. You need to get to a place in life where you say to yourself, I am going to die doing this. A lot of people haven't got, they are still figuring it out.
You dig in.
And
say, it's either it works or it works.
Whichever way.
It's not going anywhere.
So, communication skills, some people are very good. They are very good in communication. They don't struggle. You know, I was telling somebody that if my dad teaches you and you don't understand, the problem is not my dad. The problem is you.
Good afternoon to your dad.
Yes. You know,
for being such a great teacher.
Yes, very great teacher. And I think I'm one of those that took him. And for me now, I'm going to die as a teacher. I've done all what I have to do in this world. Now I've concluded that I'm going to die as a teacher.
Good afternoon to all teachers in Ghana this afternoon. Thank you. You are doing a great job. Continue to teach us.
Yes. Then leadership skills. Some people don't struggle to lead. But there is one thing I've learned, and that is everybody can learn anything if they desire.
Yeah.
Right? And you see, all these skills they are the soft skills you need to succeed in the corporate world. Now, another example, active listening skills. Some people just listen to respond, but they don't listen to understand. Some people are good at listening. They don't interrupt you. When they finish, they process it and give you a very good feedback. So in the workplace, there are some people, you tell them to go and do ABC. They just listen just to respond. Oh, yes. But they don't really understand it. They go and do something different that will come and cost the organization even more. So these are some of the skill set that is needed in organization. Presentation skills. Your ability to present for people to understand. This masterclass, I'm doing a presentation. I think there are people who are watching it are the best to judge me. Then the last is time management skills. Now, I don't even want to go in. That one can be another 4-week training.
The program is at 1:30 today. Is it Ghana time or it's 1:30, 1:30? God help us.
No, this is the only country that somebody can say, can we meet tomorrow around 2:30, 3:30? Like, how can you give 3 different times?
I've heard the worst one. It's around 2:33, 3:34. God help us. And I gave this example when I was talking to Cassandra yesterday that time management, we need to be, my pastor is a brilliant example. Good afternoon, Pastor, if you are listening. He is accredited to have started the wedding and the bride was late.
Okay.
You can't be late. You see, if it is, and my former boss will tell you, on time, he said what? 10 minutes before time is on time. On time is late.
Yes.
You know your drive time to Joy FM is 1 hour.
Yes.
You live at wherever.
Yes.
Your program is at 1.
Yeah.
At 12, you are now ironing your dress. You are late. This time thing, I get emotional about it, but please continue.
But you see, so this skill set we are talking about, they are personal development.
Hold that for me, Oscar. I've got a comment on social media. This one says, Yaw, I've informed the bus stop boys. How do they get in touch with you? Contact details. Please let them call now. I'm on the show. I've got some 2 minutes to close. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. Let the bus stop boys call now. 0302 216 541 now. 541, I beg your pardon. Or send us a comment on 055 1111997. This one is from Gideon Osei. It says, great presentation by Oscar. Very logical, convincing, and eloquent delivery. I'm proud of you, mate. This is from Gideon Odei. You know Gideon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Humbled.
Okay. This one is from Felicia. It says, hi, Joy FM. The masterclass session is very insightful. Kudos. This is Felicia. Please, can I get the book? Oscar, when you are rounding up, tell us where they can get copies of the book when you're rounding up. But I think my time is up. So finish the point you're making and sort of give us a takeout from today and where they can get the book, your contact details, and what to expect for.
Okay, so a quick one. The examples of the skill set that I've given, they are your personal development, right? Yeah, they don't teach you presentation skills at the university. They don't teach you leadership skills at the university. 8 is what? Personal development. It means that it is your personal responsibility to learn this. The moment you walk out of the door of the university, it is your responsibility to learn this, because this is very critical in the marketplace. So they are employing people. That don't have all these skill sets. Can you imagine the person who is a communication consultant has never read a book on communication? I get this all the time when I do trainings. The sales guy has never read a book on sales.
Hold that thought for me 1 minute. I'm going to call her on the line. My final call, I believe it is. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Chidiak.
Oh, Chidiak, my brother.
Brother.
It's been a minute.
It is.
Talk to me. How are you doing? Please talk to me.
Good. Let's go it this way. First of all, your presenter, don't he think salary be paid to people working in Ghana is the service for them to put in the best, put in their best? That's number one. Number two, our dress system in this country, is it not also a disservice to this country?
What system, sorry?
When people go wrong, how can they be traced?
Address system, right.
Okay.
Good. Number number three, what is happening to the military training they wanted to give our students when they want to go and do their national service? And finally, you employ a staff, and he or she thinks he's doing you a favor. Such a staff, what do you expect him to put in the best? Thank you.
Right, Chidiak, thank you so much. Very profound questions. We'll try and touch on all of them in 30 seconds.
All right.
I've gone beyond my time. This is from Benzema and Mataeko. Benzema says, hi, this discussion is really putting fire inside me right now. So interesting to watch. Thank you guys so much. Let's do his questions. When you finish, round up for me.
All right. So the salary, I totally agree. Salary is down in this country, right? But based on...
But it's a continuous conversation, though.
Yeah, based on the training and the consulting I've done for some organization, I've seen a startup where somebody was earning 22,000 Ghana cedis, and today the person is earning $2,000. Why? Though the salary was very small, they fought for the business to grow. He talked about people doing you favor. The people doing you favor, they are not there to maximize potential. They are not there for productivity. So those people, they are not going to help you to grow the business for their salary to grow. Businesses in this country are not growing just because staff think their salary is so small, instead of really working hard to help us build business so that we grow with the salary.
So help me to grow, and then you can also grow.
You can also
grow. Let's move to the next question.
Yes. Then address system. We cannot work without an address system. I think even we have done a good job.
Some kind of GPS mapping.
Yes, but there is more.
There's more to be done.
Military training, I think.
But isn't that starting?
I don't know whether
I've seen news items about.
I don't know whether it's
the
starting.
next set of national service.
Yeah,
please correct me if I'm wrong. But
I think it's in the pipeline.
Starting,
also.
yes, it's starting very soon.
Anyway, so let me give you an example. When we went to London, many of my friends went into the army. They come back. They come to my house. We eat, drink, and have fun. We were very young at that time. And I realized that when we finish eating, the ones that went to army, they're going to clean the utensils, clean the cooker, make sure. We, the civilians, we say, we'll do it the next day. For that 6 months they went into the military, the discipline they came home with, everybody saw the difference. I think it's a good thing. It is going to cause you to really have that discipline. If you look at P.K. Amwabi, if you have read his books, it is the military that changed his life for him to be that disciplined. So I think it's a good thing, but it's about how we manage it and manage it well.
How we manage it. What should we look forward to next week?
Next week, we are going to talk about the power of skill set.
The power of skill set.
The power of skill set.
And where do they get a copy of this book?
The copy of the book, just call me on 0555 803 924. 0555 803 924.
There is a famous phrase that we all talk about, where there's a will, there's a way. It's an English proverb. This started the first time in 1640 by George Herbert. And he said, to him that will, ways are not wanting. Today's conversation has been with Oscar Bimpong. We're talking about the power of the mind, skill set versus mindset. God willing, next week we'll come your way with yet another exciting edition. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you same time next week.